Let me tell you about a man named Gerald. He was 71 years old, retired, active, and proud of the fact that he never needed much help from anyone. He walked 2 miles every morning. He ate what he thought was a healthy diet. He took his blood pressure medication faithfully. And yet, for nearly 3 years, Gerald woke up every single morning feeling like he had never slept. His legs ached at night. His heart would sometimes flutter in a way that scared him. He had cramps so painful they would jolt him out of bed at 2 in the morning. His doctor ran blood tests. Everything came back, quote, within normal range, and Gerald was told he was fine. But Gerald did not feel fine, not even close. And here is the part that will stay with you. When Gerald finally discovered what was actually wrong, it had nothing to do with his heart, nothing to do with his age, and nothing to do with how much he slept. It came down to one single mineral. A mineral that his body had been quietly running out of for years. A mineral that almost nobody talks about. And a mineral that research now suggests the majority of American seniors are not getting nearly enough of. If you have ever felt unexplained fatigue, muscle cramps, poor sleep, brain fog, or a racing heart, and your doctor told you everything looks fine, I want you to stay right here. Because what you are about to hear could genuinely change how you feel every single day. Welcome. If this is your first time here, this channel is called Dr. Silas Redford Wellness, and everything we share here is built around one simple goal: helping you feel better, live longer, and understand your own body in a way that actually makes sense. And today we are talking about something that affects tens of millions of seniors across this country right now. Most of them have no idea. And the frightening part is, the standard blood test that your doctor runs will almost never catch it. So before we go any further, if this kind of information is valuable to you, please take just 1 second and hit that like button. And if you want to keep receiving content that actually looks out for your health, go ahead and subscribe. It means the world to us, and it keeps this information reaching the people who need it most. Now, let us get into this, because what I'm about to share is genuinely important. The mineral we are talking about today is magnesium. And before you think you already know about magnesium, I want to ask you to stay with me, because what most people know about magnesium is only the surface. The full picture is something that even many doctors are not fully communicating to their patients. And the way magnesium deficiency quietly destroys quality of life in seniors is something that the research is only now beginning to fully understand. Most seniors have heard of calcium, most have heard of vitamin D, but magnesium, it gets mentioned in passing. Maybe on a supplement bottle, maybe in a magazine article, and then it gets forgotten. And that forgetting, for millions of older Americans, is costing them their sleep, their energy, their heart health, and their mobility. Let that sink in for a moment. Here is something that will surprise you. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions inside your body. 300. It plays a role in how your muscles contract and relax. It affects how your nerve signals travel. It helps regulate your blood pressure. It influences your blood sugar. It supports the production of energy inside every single cell. And critically, it helps control the electrical signals that keep your heart beating in a steady, healthy rhythm. When your magnesium levels drop, all of those processes begin to suffer. And the problem is, they suffer quietly, slowly, in ways that are easy to blame on aging, stress, or just getting older. Which is exactly why so many seniors go years without ever knowing the real reason they feel the way they do. Now, why are seniors so specifically vulnerable to magnesium deficiency? This is important, and I want you to really understand it. There are actually several reasons, and they work against you at the same time. First, as we age, the gut becomes less efficient at absorbing magnesium from food. Even if you are eating a relatively balanced diet, your body is simply not pulling in as much magnesium as it used to. Second, the kidneys, as they age, become less efficient at retaining magnesium, so your body is also losing more of it. Third, many medications that seniors take every single day actively deplete magnesium. This is one of the most overlooked problems in senior health today. Proton pump inhibitors, which are commonly used for acid reflux, can significantly reduce magnesium absorption. Diuretics, which are used for high blood pressure and heart conditions, cause the kidneys to excrete magnesium at a much higher rate. Certain antibiotics, diabetes medications, and even some antidepressants have similar effects. And almost nobody tells you this when the prescription is written. Think about that for a moment. A senior takes a blood pressure medication to protect their heart. That same medication causes them to lose magnesium. Low magnesium then causes heart palpitations and irregular rhythms. The doctor sees the new symptom and considers adding another medication. Meanwhile, the root cause, the magnesium loss, never gets addressed. This cycle happens more than you would ever imagine. And the worst part is, the standard blood test that checks your magnesium level is almost completely unreliable for catching this problem. Here is why. Only about 1% of the body's total magnesium is found in the blood. The rest is stored in bones, muscles, and tissues. So your blood test can come back looking perfectly normal, while your muscles, your heart tissue, and your cells are starving for more. This is why doctors who specialize in functional and integrative medicine have been raising alarms about magnesium for years. And this is why Gerald's test results looked normal while he felt anything but. Let me tell you about another person. Her name was Patricia, and she was 67. Patricia had been struggling with anxiety and poor sleep for 2 years. She had tried melatonin. She had tried breathing exercises. She had reduced her caffeine. Nothing worked well enough. She would lie in bed for an hour before finally falling asleep, and then she would wake up 2 or 3 times during the night, heart pounding slightly, mind racing. She was exhausted every day. She started to wonder if this was just her life now, if this was just what getting older felt like. What nobody had told Patricia was that magnesium plays a direct and significant role in calming the nervous system. It works on a receptor in the brain called the NMDA receptor, and it helps regulate a neurotransmitter called GABA, which is essentially the brain's natural calming chemical. When magnesium is low, the nervous system becomes overactive. The brain cannot wind down. Stress feels bigger. Sleep becomes fragmented. Anxiety creeps in. Patricia was not broken. Her nervous system was simply running low on one of its most essential regulators. Now here is something I want you to think about carefully. We live in a world where the food we eat today contains significantly less magnesium than it did 50 years ago. The soil that our crops grow in has been depleted by modern industrial farming practices. Studies comparing the nutrient content of vegetables and grains from the 1950s to today show measurable reductions in magnesium across dozens of common foods. So even seniors who are trying to eat well, who are eating their greens and their whole grains, are getting less magnesium from that food than their parents would have gotten from the same meal. This is a systemic problem, and it is one reason why researchers who study aging nutrition believe that the recommended daily amounts for magnesium may actually be set too low for older adults in the first place. The recommended daily intake for magnesium is around 420 milligrams for men over 50 and 360 milligrams for women over 50. But surveys consistently show that the average American senior is getting somewhere between 200 and 250 milligrams per day from food alone. That gap, 150 to 200 milligrams every single day, adds up. Over weeks and months and years, it creates a slow, silent drain on every system in the body. And the symptoms it produces are so common that they blend right into the background of what we have been told to expect from aging. But here's what I want you to hold on to. These symptoms do not have to be your normal. Let us talk about what low magnesium actually feels like, because this is where things get very real for a lot of people. Muscle cramps, especially at night, are one of the most well-recognized signs of magnesium deficiency, the kind that hit your calves or your feet without warning, the kind that make you gasp. Magnesium is essential for muscle relaxation. When levels drop, muscles become hyperexcitable. They contract more easily and release more slowly, which is exactly the mechanism behind those painful nighttime cramps. Constipation is another sign. Magnesium helps regulate muscle contractions throughout the digestive system. Without enough of it, the gut slows down. This is actually why magnesium is an active ingredient in many over-the-counter laxatives. Fatigue that does not respond to rest is another red flag. Magnesium is essential for the production of ATP, which is the energy currency of every cell in your body. Without adequate magnesium, cells literally cannot produce energy efficiently. You can sleep 8 hours and still wake up feeling drained. And that is not laziness. That is biology. Then there is the heart. This is where I want you to pay very close attention. Magnesium acts as a natural calcium channel blocker inside cardiac cells. It helps regulate the flow of calcium in and out of heart muscle cells, which directly controls the electrical impulses that create a steady heartbeat. When magnesium is low, calcium flows too freely, the electrical signals become erratic, and the heart may begin to flutter, race, or skip beats. Heart palpitations in seniors are often dismissed or attributed to anxiety, but research has shown a clear connection between low magnesium levels and arrhythmias, which are irregular heart rhythms. Some cardiologists now routinely check intracellular magnesium levels, not just blood levels, in patients experiencing palpitations. Most, unfortunately, still do not. And so the real cause goes unaddressed. Brain fog is another symptom that is deeply connected to magnesium status. When people describe that feeling of thinking through wet concrete, of forgetting words mid-sentence, of not being able to focus the way they used to, magnesium is almost always a factor worth exploring. There is actually growing research into the relationship between magnesium levels and cognitive decline in older adults. Some researchers believe that maintaining adequate magnesium throughout the aging process may help protect the structural integrity of synapses in the brain, which are the connections between neurons that allow for clear, fast thinking. This area of research is still developing, but what is already clear is that low magnesium impairs the brain's ability to regulate stress, manage sleep, and maintain mental clarity. Now let us talk about how to actually address this, because information without action does not help anyone, and I want you to walk away from this with something real and practical. The first place to start is always food. There are genuinely magnesium-rich foods that are accessible, affordable, and delicious. Dark leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard are excellent sources. Pumpkin seeds are one of the most concentrated food sources of magnesium available. A small handful contains more than 150 milligrams. Black beans, edamame, and lentils are all strong options. Dark chocolate, at 70% cacao or higher, contains meaningful amounts of magnesium. Avocados, which are also rich in healthy fats and potassium, provide a solid magnesium contribution. And whole grains like quinoa and brown rice, when they are not stripped of their outer layers, retain significant magnesium content. Building more of these foods into your daily meals is one of the most natural and sustainable ways to begin closing the gap. But here is where I want to be honest with you. For many seniors, especially those over 65, food alone may not be enough. The absorption issues we talked about earlier, combined with the effects of medications and the reduced efficiency of aging kidneys, often mean that supplementation becomes an important piece of the puzzle. And when it comes to magnesium supplements, form matters enormously. This is something that even well-intentioned people get wrong. Magnesium oxide, which is the cheapest and most commonly sold form, has a notoriously poor absorption rate. Studies suggest that only around 4% of the magnesium in magnesium oxide is actually absorbed by the body. It will help with constipation because it draws water into the gut, but it is not effective for raising magnesium levels in the tissues, muscles, and nervous system where it is needed most. The forms that research consistently supports for bioavailability and effectiveness are magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate, and magnesium taurate. Magnesium glycinate, which is magnesium bound to the amino acid glycine, is absorbed gently and efficiently and is especially well tolerated by people with sensitive digestive systems. Glycine itself has calming properties, which makes magnesium glycinate a particularly popular choice for people dealing with sleep problems or anxiety. Magnesium malate, which is bound to malic acid, tends to be better for people dealing with muscle fatigue or pain. And magnesium taurate, bound to taurine, is the form most often discussed in the context of cardiovascular health. If you are considering adding a magnesium supplement, these are the forms worth discussing with your doctor or pharmacist. And that conversation is important, especially if you have kidney disease or are taking medications that affect kidney function, because magnesium is excreted through the kidneys, and any impairment in kidney function changes how your body handles supplemental magnesium. Before you start any new supplement, please do speak with your healthcare provider. That is not just a legal disclaimer. That is genuine advice. Your doctor needs to know what you are taking, and a conversation about magnesium is actually a conversation worth having, because you can also ask your doctor about testing your magnesium levels more thoroughly than the standard blood panel provides. A red blood cell magnesium test, rather than a standard serum test, gives a much more accurate picture of your true magnesium status. It is not always ordered routinely, but it is available, and it is worth requesting if you are experiencing the symptoms we have been discussing. Let me circle back to Gerald for a moment, because I think his ending matters. After 3 years of morning exhaustion, nighttime cramps, and an occasional fluttering heart, Gerald finally had a conversation with a functional medicine practitioner who ordered a red blood cell magnesium test. His levels came back below the optimal range, even though his standard blood panel had always looked fine. Gerald began taking magnesium glycinate in the evening, along with small dietary changes that brought in more magnesium-rich foods. Within about 6 weeks, the nighttime cramps were almost completely gone. He was sleeping through the night more consistently than he had in years, His energy during the day was noticeably better. He told his daughter it felt like someone had slowly been turning the lights back on. Nothing dramatic happened, no miracle. Just the quiet, steady improvement that comes when the body finally gets what it was missing. And that is the thing about magnesium deficiency. It does not usually cause one dramatic crisis. It does not usually land you in the emergency room with a clear, obvious diagnosis. It works differently. It slowly steals your comfort, your energy, your sleep, and your quality of life in ways that are easy to dismiss and easy to overlook. And that is exactly why so many seniors live for years feeling far below their potential without ever knowing why. But you do not have to be one of them, because now you know what to look for. Now you know the questions to ask, and now you know that the way you feel is not simply the price of getting older. Here's what I want you to take away from everything we have talked about today. If you are experiencing unexplained fatigue, muscle cramps, poor sleep, heart palpitations, brain fog, or persistent anxiety, magnesium is worth exploring seriously. Talk to your doctor about it. Ask for the right test. Look at your medications and ask whether any of them are known to deplete magnesium. Start adding more magnesium-rich foods to your meals, not as a cure, but as a foundation. And if supplementation makes sense for your situation, choose a highly bioavailable form and work with your healthcare team to find the right dose. These are not complicated steps, but they are meaningful ones. And meaningful steps, taken consistently, are how real improvements happen. You deserve to feel good. Not just good enough, actually genuinely good. You deserve restful sleep and steady energy and a heart that beats the way it should. You deserve mornings that feel like a real fresh start, not just another day of managing how bad you feel. And you deserve to know that these things are possible, not just in theory, but in practice, for real people just like you and Gerald and Patricia, who simply needed the right information at the right time. If this video gave you something today, something useful, something worth sharing, please leave a comment below and let us know. Tell us which symptom resonated most with you, or share this video with someone in your life who might be struggling with these same things without knowing why. Every single share puts this information in front of someone who may genuinely need it. And if you have questions or a personal experience you would like to share, this community is here for that. Your voice matters here, and your experience matters to the people watching alongside you. Thank you for being here today. Take good care of yourself, stay curious about your health, and remember that small changes made with knowledge and intention are the ones that actually change lives.